back to the channel where chaos and insanity will reign supreme. Once again, welcome back. Yes, I am suited up today because, well, it has to do with our unbox. Now, whenever I suit up, you know it's Ghostbuster related. No, not this. This is actually a project I'm doing some repairs on. That you'll get a video on that at a later date, guys. So, they finally released the Ghostbusters Afterlife Plasma Series Wave 2 figures. Now, what do I have here? Well, I got 4 out of 6. I have Peter Venkman. I have Winston Zeddemore. We have Trevor, and we have Lucky. So here's Lucky. We got her right there with her particle stream. A little bit different than what we're used to. We have Trevor and his accessory, but before we get into that, Lucky also came with the RTV remote trap vehicle. So that's a pretty cool accessory. Trevor does not have a particle stream, but he has a proton pack, and well, he's got some mini Stay Pups hanging off the back of his pack. Isn't that pretty awesome? Pretty cool. You can remove them; they just come right off. They just kind of perfectly sit there. That's a pretty cool accessory right there. And speaking of accessories, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Peter Venkman, at his current age. You know, Peter Venkman might be up in the age, but he can still rock a proton pack, and I'm sure it's still the worst part of the job. He always hated that part of the job, putting on the heavy packs. But there we go. Got him with his particle stream. So now, that leaves us with Winston Zeddemore. Now, unfortunately, I did not get podcasts, nor did I get Ray stands, so I'm hoping to get those sometime soon. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the fates have in store for us. Now, we're going to go over Winston Zeddemore. What do we see here? We have a proton pack, we have a particle stream, we have a Build-A-Figure piece in there, and we have a nice little accessory of the newspaper that he got the job, that he went and applied for the job with. So, from the very first movie. Now, I will say this: when you read the back of the boxes, there, you know, some figures, you'll get some little bit of insight into what's going on with that character. Okay. Just to recap. We had with Lucky looking for trouble, head on down to Spinners, where lifelong Somerville resident Lucky and her friends hang out. So that's what we get right there. For Trevor, we had a nice little one that said, average teenage boy, Trevor loves fast cars, reckless driving, cool adventures, and likes stuff. So we had that. Now, with Venkman, we had a little bit of a spoiler in regards to where he is with his life right now. Okay? I'm not going to go into that right now. If you want to find out what that is, you can either pick up the figure yourself or check out the video for Venkman. Okay? Now, this one for Winston is going to have a slight, not really earth-shattering spoiler, but it's going to have an insight into his life since he was a Ghostbuster. So this is a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, guys. If you don't want to know this little bit of tidbit, then either pause this video and skip ahead, or come back to this video at a later date and time, guys. You have been warned. So of course on here, instead of the original 4, we get the new Ghostbusters. We get Lucky, we get Podcast, we get Phoebe, and we get Trevor. Now Phoebe is not part of this wave. There may be an additional wave, we don't know yet. Or they might just hold off for her figure until the movie comes out, because I get a feeling that her figure and whatever accessories are therein are going to be something that is heavily plot driven, and they don't want to give away too much for the movie. So, on the back here, let's begin with the spoiler. Winston, executive offices are a long way from the firehouse, but you can still always count on Winston. So obviously Winston has moved up in the world. Now, if you played the Ghostbusters the video game, you know that Winston had got his degree. Specifically, I don't recall what the degree was in, but the fact that he got a degree, probably thanks to the guys, helping him in study and helping him to better educate himself. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he took some of that schooling, some of that knowledge, and he used that into some kind of office or promotional type stuff. We don't know. All we know is executive offices, that can cover a lot. That could be science, that could be logistics, that could be anything and everything, guys. So we don't know. We just don't know. So with that being said, let's get right on into it. So let's get over to dual view, overhead view. Here we go. Clear sheet. Usual legal paperwork. We're going to pluck and file it. I did have a bit of an issue with Venkman's accessories. They were the ESP cards. The top one got stuck to the tape that they were keeping this in, and the back side is just plain cardboard here, guys. See that? White there, tan cardboard on the back. My recommendation is hit it with some white paint, or even like a Sharpie, like a white colored Sharpie or whiteouts, and then cover it with a clear piece of transparent tape to seal it, so it'll kind of protect it. So this is our accessory, just a little cardboard piece with the newspaper. There we go. Do you believe in UFOs, astral projection, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirits, photography, telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis? Steady paycheck, apply now. So there we go. So that's a nice little throwback. As far as like the ESP cards, I wonder if this is something we'll see in the background when we see Peter Venkman. As far as the newspaper, maybe will Winston actually have the original newspaper maybe framed somewhere as a nice little callback as to, you know, one little chance of fate can change your entire world. Because let's face it, he was just your average Joe looking for a job. He just happened to answer the ad. He answered the call. So here's Winston's particle stream. Now Winston was the only one of the original Ghostbusters to get a particle stream the first time around. That was a little weird. So here we go. We have an arm. This appears to be the left arm of the Sentinel Terror Dog. So far we have the right arm, we have the left arm, we have the head, and we have a leg. So now we need the other leg and the torso, but obviously those are going to be divvied up between either Ray and podcast. So we'll see what happens with that. So here we are, we have Winston, we have his proton pack. There we go. And let's free him from that. So we have Winston Zeddemore. Obviously he's aged a little bit since we last saw him. A little bit of gray right there. I think they took the gray a little bit too high, but you know, it is what it is. Well, let's get a nice good focus right there. There we go. That's definitely our boy Ernie Hudson, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Now, here's something a little interesting. His elbow pads look, no, they're about the same. When I was holding them up, they look a little bit lighter on camera than they do in real life. I love that we have the darker khaki suit, because we're going to compare Winston with Winston. Big difference, right? Darker suit, amazing pose, amazing likeness. We've got his name tag, Zeddemore. And let's see. It's almost about the same spot on the original suit than we do here. Because that was something I noticed with Peter. Peter's name tag was a little bit different. It was a little bit higher than his original self. I gotta get some better stands. So here we go. Arm swivel's a little loose on this one. I'm sure it's a case of quality control and miles will vary, but we got nice good hinges here. You know, he's up in the age, maybe he wants to do, you know, some jumping jacks. Work out a little bit, you know. Work out the kinks, you know. So let us get him ready. When I say ready, we mean to suit up, get that proton pack on him, and get ready to bust some ghosts. I mean, come on, New York, what a town. So there we go, just slide it right over his shoulders. Bring the Alice frame strap over so we can peg it in. That's not actually how you put a real Alice frame on, but it is for these figures. So there we go, we got that in. Get this peg, and you got to make sure that you peg the pack onto his back because he does have a hole there for it. Just like the original, we have the radio, the walkie-talkie right there. We got the belt gizmo. We got the hose, the leg hose right there. Now, of course, we need to get the wand on. The way I usually do it is I will take the hose of the wand, thread it through his hand. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing right there. Just thread it through and through and through until we get down to the hand grip. Okay. Once we're at the hand grip, you want to play with the other hand a little bit so we can get it so that he's holding the wand. And in some of the figures, it's not so easy to do. Again, it just came right out. I'll pause you guys for a second while I play around. Okay, so here we go. I finally got him to pose with his particle stream going on. I'm going to just move you guys over. Okay, now the pegs with some of the figures, I've gone with these smaller pegs. They're not the greatest. Some of the NECA stands work pretty well. That's how I have older Venkman wearing. But if you have a steady enough display, you can stand them without the figures or without the stands. I prefer the stands just for a little extra support. But there we go. We got Winston. We got Peter. Showing the new kids how it's done. Now again, there is a slight little difference. Actually, Winston's cyclotron is the same light as his original figure. That's not the case with Peter. Peter has a different light, cyclotron light assignment. Don't know if that's just something that they kind of threw in to kind of like throw people off, or if that's something a little bit fun and special right there. Who knows? Something that is well above my pay grade and your pay grade. Let's be honest. So here we are. We got the younger selves with their older selves right there. So these figures, they are a major go. If you are a Ghostbuster fan, if you love Ghostbusters, you're psyched for the new movie coming out, you have to get these figures. Why? Well, you're going to get to build this pretty damn awesome Build-A-Figure, for one. Two, this is a continuation. This is the generation, the original generation passing on to the next generation. This is definitely a transitional movie. I think this movie, the trailer alone, is already hitting all the fans in the feels. Let's be honest. I mean, both trailers did not give us a whole lot of insight. They haven't really given the plot away. All we know is a family that's down on the luck finds that the grandfather had left this old farmhouse to them, and they move. They move there. They're starting a new life in this new town. Just so happens that this town has a whole lot of craziness going on. And the youngest girl, the daughter, finds out that maybe her grandfather was more than meets the eye. Turns out that there's this connection to the original Ghostbusters. But there's some weird seismic things going on and some craziness. And we know that there's a Shandor mine. Obviously there's a connection to Gozer because we got terror dogs and a whole bunch of craziness. So, I mean, that doesn't really give us a whole lot. We don't exactly know what parts these people are going to play. We know that the kids get their hands on the gear, and now that we see the figures, we see the guys are suited up, we know that they're going to come to the rescue at some point. Especially since after the most recent trailer, right at the end, you see Ray at Ray's Occult Books answering saying we're closed. So, I mean, it's hitting us in all the right points, and we don't know what the plot is. We don't exactly know. This town could be more of a central focal point for Gozer and Shandor than the original Skyrise in Part 1. We just don't know. Who knows? For all we know, this could be Gozer setting a trap for the Ghostbusters decades later. We don't know. But we'll find out November 11th. As long as there's no issues and any more delays with the movie, we'll find out November 11th. As long as theaters are open, you can count that this guy will be showing up full gear, going to the theaters with all his friends and having an amazing, amazing nerd of a time. So there we are, guys. These figures are amazing. They're priced at $22.99 at your local Targets. Go to your Target right now. Don't wait. Run. Hop in the car. You don't need shoes. Come on. Just go in there. Head to the store. Cop these if you can. Get them while you can, guys. A lot of people are trying to hit up the stores. Get them while they're running out. I mean, they can't keep them in high enough supply. So you guys go and get them as soon as you can. If you can't, don't worry. I'm sure there's going to be restocks. Last year when the original Plasma series came out, we kept getting periodic restocks. I've even seen Ray Stan's, the original set, Plasma Wave 1, Ray figures still peg warming a few weeks back. So, I mean, that's a whole year later. So, guys, don't give up. Don't get frustrated. You'll come across them. Don't necessarily jump onto the third-party resellers. I've seen them on Amazon for $34 or $35 plus shipping. You guys don't want to do that. You can get these for $22.99. Just be a little patient. Hit up your Targets. You see them, grab them, jump on them, guys. It'll happen. So that's our video, guys. I'm blown away by these figures. I'm loving them. They're just beyond amazing. And I will say this, guys. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for joining me in my ghost busting through YouTube itself. We are at 263 followers, friends and family right now. We're blowing up. The channel's just tremendous. It would be amazing if I somehow managed to get to 300 before November. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep doing everything I'm doing. I want you guys to do me a favor. Go into the video description below and check out our YouTube warriors. Those are everyday people just like you and me who put out some amazing content on YouTube, whether it's video gaming, live streams, figure reviews just like I'm doing right now, unboxes of anything and everything you can possibly imagine, Gundam kits, everything, prop making, guys. These are amazing people. Check them out. You won't be disappointed. So there we are. There you are. Here I am. The figures are right there. Say hello, guys. Hello. Yeah. What more can I say, guys? I only have 2 things left to say. You guys know what I'm going to say. Keep on busting, and I'll always catch you on the flip side.